recognize either of those songs. My name's Lindsey. I am a music teacher at Teachers College, Columbia University. I'm a violinist. I also play the viola, the guitar, the piano, the flute, and I sing. And I also produce music using a computer. And today I'm going to show you how you can make music using your computer. How many lines do you see in front of you? Let's count it together. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In music, we call these 5 lines a staff. At the beginning of our staff, this is what we call a clef. The name of this clef is a treble clef or a G clef because it curves around the G line. In our musical alphabet, there are only 7 letters. The first 7 letters of the alphabet. So we have A. What comes next? B. Very good. Then C, D, E, F, G. How many people said H? There is no H in our musical alphabet. After G, we repeat back to A. Using our musical alphabet, each of the lines and spaces have a name on the staff. We start with E, F, G. And you remember after G, we repeat back to the beginning of the alphabet. We have A, B, C, D, E, and F. And it sounds like this. The spaces start with F and they spell a word. F, A, C, and E. They spell the word face. I made the 2 F's blue. I wanted to show you that these are the same note, but they're going to sound a little higher or lower. Also with the E's. Same note, this E just sounds a little higher. And in music, we call that an octave. Our bottom line is called E. Then we have a space. And then the next line is G. Then we have a space. Next line is B, D, and F. And that sounds like this. Now the spaces also have a name, F-A-C-E. Do you know what that spells? Face. F-A-C-E are our spaces. And that's what the spaces sound like. And here's F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. To make it a major scale, I added a flat. And a flat means that we lowered the pitch. And that's for another lesson that we can talk about sharps and flats. But I wanted to show you, if you noticed, I made the F's blue because I wanted to show you they're the same F, but they sound different. In music, we call that an octave. An oct, like an octopus or an octagon, which has 8 sides, or an octopus has 8 tentacles. An octave means there are 8 spaces between the notes. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because in music we count the line and the space in the staff. And you might already recognize this octave leap. It was from the piece I played first for you, which was, do you remember? Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And this is what it looks like written out. I'm going to play it for you. what you see here are bar lines, and they divide our measures. So we have 1 measure, 2 measures, 3, 4. So our Somewhere Over the Rainbow clip is 1, 2, 3, 4 measures. And at the end of our piece, we put a double bar line, and that signifies that it's the end of the song. I'm going to go back to where I showed you our staff, and there's some numbers here. We call this a time signature, and it's going to tell us 2 different things. The bottom number tells us what note gets the beat. And in music, 4 stands for quarter note. Just like in a dollar, there are how many quarters? 4 quarters in a dollar. In music, there are 4 quarter notes in a measure when we are in 4/4 time. And the top number of our time signature tells you how many quarter notes will be in that measure. What you see here on the screen, these are musical rests. And just like you have sound in music, you also have silence. And the silence is also part of the music. So these are quarter rests. I'm going to show you what a quarter note looks like now. You might recognize it from the Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Here are quarter notes. Ta, 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 ta. We can divide those quarter notes into smaller rhythmic values, and we call these eighth notes, and they are half as long as a quarter note. So instead of 4 notes, now the eighth note's a little quicker, so in one beat, instead of quarter note, we have T-T. 2 notes, T-T, 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 T-T. So this is what 8 notes sound like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in our measure of 4/4 time signature. So it's a little bit quicker. Now we can have different, what we'd call rhythms. So quarter note or eighth note. Let's see what this sounds like. Here I have a quarter and then 2 eighths. And at the end of the measure, I have another quarter. And it sounds like this. Ta, ti, 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 ta. Let's see what this sounds like. Ta, ti, ti, ta, ta. Let's try one more rhythm. Here we have ta, ti, ti, ta, ti, ti. Let's hear what that sounds like. Now there's something cool we can do in music. I just put a repeat sign, which is 2 dots over the middle line. And that lets us know that we start from the beginning, or where you see these 2 dots again. So here, this is telling us, let's go back to the beginning of the piece. So we're just going to keep repeating this measure. Now I'm in a program I want to show you how to use. Right here is divided into 4, just like our quarter notes, and we're going to use this like a measure. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's going to loop, just like if there was a repeat sign at the end of this. So it's going to sound like this. And the tempo tells us how fast or slow we want it to go. So if we drag it down, it's slower. And if we bring the speed up, it's faster. We can use a drum sound. 2, 3, 4. So just like our quarter notes. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I just chose something in our major scale. Here they made it simpler by taking the staff away, and each block represents, as it goes up, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, a major scale. And then we can play with those sounds. We can speed it up. Or slow it down. And then something really cool that we can do is we have made a beat. You could also call it a loop or an ostinato, and we can make a melody over this. What I played for you at the beginning of our time today was Somewhere Over the Rainbow and a song from Frozen. What I played was the melody. And you can press the mic button and you can sing a melody over your beat. And then you'll also be able to save that as well. So this will tell you exactly what to do. Sing into your mic. Now we have our eighth notes, so we can play a little bit more with the sounds here. Now this looped pattern is what we call an ostinato in classical music. An ostinato is a continued repeating musical idea. And in pop music, we call that a loop. A beat is a musical idea that just loops. These are eighth notes. T T T T T T T T T T T T T T T T. If I only want to play on the quarter notes, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can try this out yourself if you have some help, you can type in Chrome Music Lab and I'll show you where it takes you and how I got to this page. So Music Lab will bring you up to all these fun games, and what I went into was the Song Maker. And I changed the settings for us specifically. And you can play with this. This is really fun. And once I press play, this is going to loop. And I can change the sounds. So this button changes down the sound down here for our drums. The setting that I used I brought it down to 1 octave, which means 8 different pitches. 1 and 8 are the same note, just an octave apart. Length was 1 bar. And that gets us to the screen that I used. If we press save, and we can just copy this link and we can send it to our friends and family. You can have your adult in the room save it for you and send it to your friends and family, or so you can hear it later. I'm going to show you how to make a song using a different program now. Incredibox is a website and an app that's like a game that will let us create our own beats and songs using loops or ostinato. And ostinato is an Italian word. To make it plural, or to say that we have more than one ostinato, we say ostinati. So I'm going to click on the try web version because I'm on my computer. If you are on a phone, you can download the app. And we have 7 different musical settings that we can try. I'm going to click on the Love. And this is a program that was made by a French company called So Far So Good. And when this is finished loading, I'm going to press play, and it's going to take us to our musical workstation that has 7 different cartoon characters that we get to dress up with costumes and accessories, and each of those costumes and accessories is going to represent a musical idea. So I'm going to press play, and then we have 4 different colors of musical ideas. So if I click on one of the costumes or accessories and I drag it onto our cartoon character, we're going to hear that musical idea, and it's going to keep looping. So the yellow represent different rhythms or beats. The blue are different sound effects. If you want to take a sound effect off, you press the X. Once it's done loading, if you want to mute that sound so you don't hear it, you press the speaker with the X. Instead of taking the sound away, it will mute it. If you want to solo the sound, so it's the only sound playing, you press the headphones. The purple are different voices, and the voices are a cappella. A cappella means without instrumental accompaniment. So no instruments, no violin or piano or guitar is playing along. It's just the voice. And the red are melodies. What I played for you at the beginning, Somewhere Over the Rainbow or Let It Go from Frozen, those are melodies. And the red are going to be our melodies. So let's hear what that sounds like. When we have our song the way we like it, we can click on these 3 lines and press record. And it will record when we solo or mute a different costume. And we can, while we're recording, swap a different accessory out. When we think that our song is done, we can press the record button again, and it's going to give us 3 different options. We can either retry the song again, we can play it to hear how it sounds, or we can press save. And I like where my song's at, so I'm going to enter my DJ name, which is El Castel. I'm going to title this song The Love, and I'm going to dedicate it to you. And then I'm going to press the check, and it's going to save our song. And with an adult's help, you can share it. If you export it, that's going to allow you to send it in a text message or an email to a friend, or save it to your computer. And if you press my mix, you can load the song to the App Store. So this is a really fun way to make different beats and a whole different song. So our beats are more rhythmic, although they can have some kind of melodic using different notes. As a quick review, our 5 lines are called a staff. And we want to know that the time signature is 4/4, so that means there's 4 beats in a measure, 4 different quarter notes. And we can divide those quarter notes into 1/8 notes, or this is an 1/8 rest. We can have rests in our loop, so it sounds like this. And sometimes, like you saw in Incredibox, it can sound really fun to have rests in the piece as well. Now I also want to show you a different rhythm. So these are quarter notes. And you saw in Somewhere Over the Rainbow, we also had half notes. And a half note equals 2 quarter notes. So there only needs to be 2 half notes in a measure to have 4 beats. It's going to sound like this, starting with the measure of quarter notes. Now, this is called a whole note. And a whole note is 4 beats. And it sounds like this. A measure of just 1/8 notes sounds like this. Chrome Lab allows us to stack the notes on top of each other to create chords. It looks like this if we use musical notation. And it sounds like this. Chrome Lab lets us do that with colors, and we have freedom to put the notes anywhere we want within the octave. And the octave, remember, means 8 notes apart. Another game we can do with Chrome Music Lab is this game called Chords. If we click on this, we can see the keys of a piano, and it will create the chords that I just showed you in the musical notation. And for another lesson, we can go over major and minor, but know that minor sounds a little more sad. Whereas major sounds a little happier. There's another game that can help us arpeggios. Hear the chord? This will change the sound from a piano to a harp. press play, it plays each note one at a time instead of as a chord or all together. Here's our chord. There are some really fun games I encourage you to have fun with. So here's our octave. Here's another octave. Can't get quite there to the next red, but I like the string sound. And then down here we can use this as our drum. And then every blue line is a beat or a quarter note for us. So let's try and see what this sounds like. Have fun with it. Remember that you can save your creation. If you'd like to take away something you did, you can press undo and you can record yourself singing over it. If you'd like to change the settings to how I had it set up for you at the very beginning, I had one bar at a time, and in that bar there were 4 beats, and I had just one octave. Great job today. You did so well. I'm so glad we got to spend time together today, and I'm excited for all the new music that you're going to create.